This is the story of Ruth, a tale of loyalty, faith, and the incredible ways in which God can transform our lives. Whether you've never heard it or know every detail, this story certainly offers lessons relevant even for today. So, don't scroll, because what you're about to discover will uplift your faith and inspire your soul. Once upon a time, during the days when judges ruled Israel, there was a famine in the land. A man named Elimelech from Bethlehem in Judah decided to leave his homeland to escape the hardships of famine. He took with him his wife, Naomi, and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. They journeyed to the country of Moab, a foreign land, where times seemed more promising. Little did they know their decision would pave the way for a story of profound faith and incredible redemption. While in Moab, tragedy struck. Elimelech passed away, leaving Naomi to raise her 2 sons alone. Over time, her sons married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. For a while, life was steady. But more heartbreak followed. Both Mahlon and Chilion also died. Naomi, now bereft of her husband and sons, was left with only her 2 daughters-in-law. Years rolled by, and the famine in Judah finally ended. Naomi decided it was time to return home. She had heard the Lord had blessed her people with food once again. She told Orpah and Ruth to return to their own families, to find new husbands, to start fresh lives. Naomi, overcome by her bitterness and grief, felt she had nothing left to offer them. She even declared, "The Lord's hand has turned against me." Orpah wept, and after much hesitation she kissed Naomi goodbye and returned to Moab. But Ruth? Ruth stood firm. She clung to Naomi with a loyalty that still resonates through the ages. Ruth said, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." This moment was a declaration of unwavering faith and commitment, not only to Naomi, but to the God of Israel. The 2 women journeyed back to Bethlehem together. It was harvest time when they arrived, and the whole town was stirred by their return. The women of Bethlehem exclaimed, "Can this be Naomi?" But Naomi said, "Don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter." Naomi, whose name meant pleasant, now identified fully with the bitterness of her suffering. Yet God was working behind the scenes, quietly orchestrating a redemptive plan. In Bethlehem, Ruth took on the responsibility of providing for both herself and Naomi. She began gleaning in the fields. Gleaning was a provision God had commanded for the poor and foreigners. It allowed them to gather grain left behind by harvesters. Ruth unknowingly found herself working in the fields of a man named Boaz. Boaz, a man of great character and integrity, noticed Ruth. Known in the town for her loyalty and kindness to Naomi, Ruth's reputation preceded her. Boaz approached her and said, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field, and don't go away from here. Stay here with the women who work for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting and follow along after the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you, and whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." Moved by his kindness, Ruth asked, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me? A foreigner?" Boaz explained, "I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done." The kindness of Boaz didn't stop there. He ensured Ruth gathered ample grain, even instructing his workers to pull out stalks from the bundles for her to collect. Ruth brought home an abundance to Naomi, sharing all that had happened. Naomi exclaimed, "The Lord bless him." She revealed to Ruth that Boaz was one of their family's guardian redeemers, a relative with the responsibility to help family members in times of need. Naomi, sensing God's providence at work, devised a plan. She encouraged Ruth to approach Boaz as a guardian redeemer and ask for his protection and care. Ruth, with humility and courage, followed Naomi's advice. She went to Boaz at night as he slept near the threshing floor, uncovering his feet as a cultural gesture of supplication and saying, "Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." Boaz was moved by Ruth's actions. He praised her for her kindness and assured her he would act on her behalf. However, there was one other man who was a closer relative and had the first right to redeem the family's property and marry Ruth. Boaz, being a man of great integrity, sought to settle the matter legally and honorably. The next day, Boaz met with the other relative before the elders of the town. After explaining the situation and the responsibilities of the guardian redeemer, the man declined, saying it would jeopardize his inheritance. Boaz, therefore, took on the role of guardian redeemer himself. In the presence of witnesses, he announced his intention to redeem Naomi's land and marry Ruth. What followed was a true testament to God's faithfulness. Boaz and Ruth were married, and they were blessed with a son, Obed. Obed would become the father of Jesse, who was the father of King David. Yes, Ruth, a Moabite woman, became the great-grandmother of Israel's most celebrated king, and ultimately, a part of the genealogy of Jesus Christ. This story of Ruth is not just about loyalty and faithfulness. It's a reminder that God's plans are far greater than we can ever imagine. Even in the face of despair, God is at work, redeeming, restoring, and bringing new hope into our lives. Whether you see yourself as Naomi, bitter and empty-handed, or as Ruth, stepping forward in faith despite uncertainty, this story shows that God's grace is for everyone, regardless of where you come from or who you are. So, what does this mean for us today? It means that no matter how far we feel from home, no matter the baggage we carry or the losses we've endured, our faithfulness can be a catalyst for divine transformation. Like Ruth, when we keep our eyes on God and our hearts committed to love and kindness, incredible things can happen. Thank you for joining in this journey into the book of Ruth. Let her story inspire you to walk by faith, cherish loyalty, and trust in God's unfathomable plan for your life. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts. Until next time, stay blessed.